thank you for watching. Let's talk about, well, it's just you hearing me. I will talk about when secular entertainment made me think of the gospel of Jesus Christ. And the first one is, I was watching Alice. For those of you who don't know, that's a sitcom from the 80s or 70s. I don't remember ever watching it when it was a new show. But my wife and I rewatch it now because it's a funny show to watch. And there's a TV channel that has a lot of those old sitcoms from back when we were kids or when we weren't born yet. And so one of the main characters is Mel Sharples. He owns a diner, and that's where most of the occurrences of the show take place. Like, the main setting is Mel's Diner, where Alice works at it. My wife and I were calling it Mel's Diner for quite a while there until we realized, oh, the name of the show is Alice. There's one episode where Tommy, who is Alice's son, goes to live with Mel because Mel tells her that he could do a better job raising a boy than she could. And Tommy gets to see Mel have a hangover. And this made me think of the gospel because it's some commandments from God make sense even if there was no spiritual benefit. There is, and there will be benefits after this life, but some commandments from God they make the most sense for how to live your life right now and get good benefits in your life right now. And so Tommy sees Mel with a hangover. Every sound hurts his head, and Tommy asks Mel why people drink. And Mel says, because it makes them feel good. But he's not feeling good when he's having a hangover. Any of you who've had a hangover, you aren't really feeling good when you have that hangover, do you? So maybe drinking doesn't make you feel good. Because what happens after the high wears off is a part of the thing, isn't it? Alright, next one. Nicholas Sparks wrote a novel named The Lucky One. And the one main character is like 3 or 4 that you could call are the main characters of the book. This one character, he is trying to find Hampton, which is in Hampton County. Was that one in North Carolina? And here's a connection to that and the gospel. There are some cities that are named, there are counties that are named after a city and vice versa. Sometimes they call it the county seat. Camden City is in Camden County. Philadelphia, before the 1950s when the whole county became the city, Philadelphia, what we now call downtown Philadelphia, was the city and the whole county was Philadelphia. Same name. Sacramento City is in Sacramento County, California. And this one example in this, I didn't try to find out if there really is a Hampton City in Hampton County, but it's plausible. One of the most ridiculous, stupid accusations. It's a stupid accusation. If you make this accusation against the Book of Mormon, you have little intelligence or little integrity. One ridiculous accusation that people have made against the Book of Mormon is that it does not get Jesus Christ's birthplace right. But it does. The supposed wrong birthplace is when somebody whose ancestors have not been in Jerusalem for more than 500 years is talking to a group of people prophesying about Jesus Christ. And he told them Jesus would be born in the land. He didn't say city limits within the walls. He said land of Jerusalem. Well, Jerusalem was the most important city back then. If they had our modern system of a county seat and the county out around it, then Bethlehem, where Christ was born, would have been in County of Jerusalem. The speaker saying land of Jerusalem was speaking to people who probably knew nothing about, local geography. If you grew up in a suburb of some big city, or you went on a vacation there, something happened, and you're telling people about it, and they have no idea where something is, you would say the name of the big city. If I tell people I went to Longueuil, Quebec, for my first international vacation, I might get some confused looks, but if I say Montreal, they'll say, oh, I know where that is. Alright. In that book by Nicholas Sparks, I was saddened by the unchastity of the characters. So they were not obeying God's laws, and that was the connection to the gospel there for this point. The two characters at the end of the book, spoiler alert, there we go, you had time to click it, pause it, do something to it if you didn't want your Nicholas Sparks novel spoiled. At the end of the novel, two of the characters end up in a relationship, living together, but we never find out if they're married. But before the end of the novel, they had sex as a way of dating. They had sex without being married. People who do that in real life must repent. Or hellfire awaits, the celestial kingdom, endless woe. Because sex is for husbands and wives only. Anybody else is gonna have to answer to God for that. But God, He wants to forgive us. He's eager to forgive us. So you should repent. A loving, all-powerful, wonderful, great being wants you to do that because it will be good for you. My son and I were talking about Harry Potter. In the first book, Voldemort is defeated, sort of, but he comes back in the next book. He keeps coming back. He keeps resurrecting after defeat. And that made me think of the resurrection. Everybody will be resurrected. So, look forward to that. Live your life so that you will want to be resurrected, because you'll be resurrected and stand before God to be judged. And if you have come close to Him in this life, that will be a wonderful day for you. But the bad people that have lived on this earth, the list would be too long if I tried to list every one of them. They're going to be resurrected too, but their bodies will have less glory, maybe less power. No, definitely less power. So you don't need to worry about, mass murderers and maniacal dictators coming back from the grave and causing problems the way Harry Potter needed to worry about Voldemort coming back from the grave and causing problems. Last but not least for this list, The Host by Stephenie Meyer. This book was written by her after she wrote the Twilight Saga, and I highly recommend The Host. It was fun reading. Right now I'm slowly trudging through it with my son, and sadly he does not realize how fun that book is to read. But we need to, we should read stuff instead of watching Disney television shows and Nickelodeon television shows all day long. So we're gonna trudge our way through it. So the host, it made me think of demonic possession. And let's talk about both of those subjects. For those of you who have no idea what happens in the host, there are these aliens that they take over bodies. They're very metallic colored, bright metallic colored, sort of a cylinder shape, and they're put in the neck of the person they're taking over, and they can take over more than just people, because they've done this on a lot of different worlds. Or like, they've been doing it on 7 or 8 different worlds, and the main character has been on almost all of those worlds. She's been around a few times. And then once they're implanted, they take over the body. They just completely take over the body and mind of the person they were, implanted into. So here's what's demonic possession. It's a real thing. Now, some people who may have been thought to be demonically possessed in the past just had mental illness or mental retardation. That doesn't, just because some people misidentified demonic possession in the past does not mean there is no such a thing. So everybody has a spirit inside of us that controls the body. Your body is for your spirit. Demonic possession is when demons, which are spirits, get into a body. And so now, in case you never heard of demonic possession, that's what that is. It's a real thing. So the difference is, the similarities between the two is that there's another being getting in the body, taking control. The difference is in the host, that control is forced onto the person being controlled. The main character tries to kill herself because she does not want to be controlled by an alien. But they save her life and then stick the alien in her. Demonic possession, it has to start out with the person letting a demon in. It's never going to be forced on you against your will. Now, if somebody has been demonically possessed, those demons can be ordered out by the priesthood of God. It's a real thing I haven't done yet, but I've heard from people who've done it. And all right, I'm 68 pages into the novel now. One of the interesting things we read about in the novel is they give short stories or glimpses in the past of these aliens. And there was a planet where they were taking control of seaweed. And the entire northern pole on this one planet died off because the seaweed realized what was happening. The aliens thought the seaweed weren't going to be able to run away, so what could they do? The seaweed found a way to make sure they died instead of being possessed. That made me think of a story from the Bible, because Jesus talked to a man who was possessed, and the devils inside said, "Our name is Legion." So they were proclaiming there were a lot of them in there. Jesus ordered them out. Before they left, though, they begged permission for him to go enter a flock of swine. They were so wanting to have a body, they would go to a pig body. That's the way it is. Our spirits want to have a body. Our spirits are going to be lacking some kind of happiness that we get right now out of having our body when we don't have our body. And that's one reason why it's such a good thing we'll all be resurrected. Even if some people don't understand that right now. I've heard at least one YouTuber say she does not want to be resurrected. Well, Brenda, you're getting resurrected, whether you like it or not. And after you're dead, maybe you'll realize you're a little bit happier with your body. Alright. These swine, though, they did not want to have the evil spirits inside of them. They were good. They killed themselves. They intentionally ran into a lake where they died, or drowned themselves, so they would not have to share their bodies with the evil spirit. Like how some of the characters in The Host, they did not want to have these evil, well, they were aliens, they weren't evil spirits. These aliens taking over their body. Although I did not read any stories of a mass suicide to prevent the things from getting in, or to make the things regret getting in. And that is the end of this list. Thank you for watching. You have a good day, and if you want to learn more about the Gospel of Jesus Christ, you can go to his church's website, which is churchofjesuschrist.org. Have a good day.